Good morning.
Is it morning time?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Good morning, guys. I'm still asleep. Been up since 4:30. I should have went live on you, Joe. Hey, welcome to Coffee and Conversation. As always, my name is Michael, one of your Capital Recovery Center coach.
Good morning as well. My name is Craig once again.
Good morning. My name is Karen.
Welcome, everyone. Got any announcements out there for what we got today?
Our recovery spotlight is coming up, right?
Yeah, it's next Friday.
Oh, it's next Friday.
No, that's good. It is coming up for November. The recovery spotlight for November is coming up. So stay tuned. Recovery spotlight will be next Friday for the month of November. And what we got, Recovery on Wheels, is tomorrow. Maybe at Papa Lucci, right?
Yep, Papa Luigi's in Dorchester.
From 10 to 2 p.m. If you need any assistance or somebody that needs some type of recovery or assistance or wants to get some information dealing with sober living or any type of situations like that, you can come to Recoveries on Wheels. We'll be, I'll do a live video when we get to the destination and let you guys know where we'll be. And then we'll be in November. Wow. Somebody find 2021 and tell her I'm looking for her. God, November. Wow. The whole year. That's the fastest year, even though it went the same time. But anyway.
Honestly, when you take it day by day, it really does go more faster than.
That's crazy. November. All right. It's a new year. New Year's coming. All right. So the last few weeks we've been talking about Sober Support Network and what to do after relapse, and we've been staying in that same type of vein. I believe it's very important to have a healthy recovery support network. I have one for my own self after 22 years of struggling with drugs. I have a very healthy support network that they're very strong and very able to assist me, and they're not yes men. They're able to tell me no. You know, you got to have somebody in your circle that's able to say that was not a good idea, Mike. So you want to have that type of circle, and you want to have a circle where you can basically bleed to and lean on at the same time. So it's about importance of a sober support network from Pineland Recovery Center on the website, pinelandrecovery.com. They have a lot of different material that you can use for your own personal edification or to assist individuals like we are doing now. We are just giving you the information. The application part is all on you. So we can't, please don't come back to me and say it didn't work if you ain't applied. So let's go, y'all ready? Let's get to it, man. Let's see what we got here. It's a lot to cover here. What we'll do is we'll read one and we'll elaborate on each section. Most of these sections that I briefly went over are very things that you can go in deeper on, but we're just going to give you like synopsis of some of them. So,
All right, well, let's read the first synopsis.
Let's go.
And it says, while many people believe that recovery is a personal journey, that is not the whole truth. You cannot maintain your sobriety or expect to recover without the help and support of others along the way. This is why it is vital to develop a sober support network throughout your recovery journey. The development of a sober support network will allow you to get the support you need from a practical source of individuals who know what you have been through and have ways to get through the hard times in recovery.
Nice. There's a lot here. Let me pull over Paul's part, Mr. Daniel.
Go ahead, do your thing.
All right. So the first part I wanted to look at that stuck out to me and said, without the help and support of others along the way. In order for you to actually be successful on your recovery walk, you're going to need help and support from other people along the way. And the reason why that's very important, or it stuck out to me, is because I know you think you know it all, but you don't. And I am the same way. No matter how much I think I might know, it's always someone that knows more than me, especially in the area of recovery or any area of your life. You want to always put yourself in a particular group where you're not the smartest one in the group. If you become the smartest one in the group, you need to get a new group. You never want to be the one that knows everything in the group. You want to always have a group where you can go to somebody and learn from them. I was just telling Craig today, we was doing something on the computer, and I was like, man, I learned that from Karen. And he was like, I said, yo, I never knew how to do that. I never knew that was possible. I was like, I learned that from Karen. Karen showed me that. And that's, you want to always be that type of person that you'll be able to get help from other individuals. So without the help and support of others along the way, your recovery walk would be very difficult. And also he read down the bottom, it says individuals who know what you have been through and have ways to get through. So some of the situations you face in your recovery walk are going to be similar things that someone has experienced. Now, you want to build your support network with somebody who has already accomplished or conquered, whatever term you want to use, the same thing that you're trying. When I use in my own personal life, I always find somebody, I have different mentors. I have a mentor for business, for my business. I have a spiritual mentor. I have a recovery mentor. And the reason why I have different mentors for different particular things is because when I face something difficult in my business mentor has been through that before, and he can help me in that area. My spiritual mentor, when I face something difficult in that area, he can help me in that area. My recovery mentor, when I'm faced with something dealing with recovery, and my business mentor never did drugs a day in his life, he won't be able to help me in recovery. So I get to go to my recovery mentor, and he has ways to help me get through things. That's the same type of recovery support network you need in every area of your life.
And just to add on to that, and so those of us who deal with recovery, we have a lot of deficiencies in other aspects of our lives, whether it be social, relationship, employment. So for me, when it comes to like things that I may not be adequate enough with in a relationship, dealing with people or my own personal relationship, I myself lean on or go to people who have more experience or have better models of examples than I may have that can assist me along that aspect. So if you are having issues with social, economic, or relationship, find someone who's able to assist in those areas as well.
And you can also, we are here for, as recovery coaches, and we do here at Capital Recovery Center, we try to do with every recovery is recovery management plan. And all of those things in that plan can help you in different areas, or we'll help you list or on your own what you think is the most area that you need to address at this particular time. If it's like all the things that Craig was just mentioning, is that the most important thing that you need to address now that you are actually clean from your drug? Obviously, trying to take care of gaining employment and you still actively using it, it's not a good thing to put on the top of the list. It really will be not a good idea. So let's move down. What is a sober support network? A sober support network is a group of sober individuals that you meet along the course of your recovery that helps you maintain, one of my favorite words, your sobriety for the long term. You often meet these people at sober events and meetings as well as in treatment. These individuals are critical to your recovery because they understand what you have gone through and can give you practical advice for the bad days you will face along your journey. The bad days you will face along your journey. Don't think after treatment, after detox, after treatment, after you have some IOP, that you're going to have all these red carpets rolled out for you. There's going to be some bad days. There are going to be days where you just don't feel confident about who you are or what you're doing. They will also be there to celebrate your triumphs. it is important to remember that you should always be there for them to provide support and celebrate their accomplishments as well. Just because that's a big thing with me, because I'm naturally, or I have the gift from God to encourage other individuals. But the thing that comes is a blessing and a curse, being as though you always encourage other people, they can't tell when you need encouragement. So you got to always be there to celebrate their accomplishment as well. Whoever your social support network is, they probably be there for you. But sometimes reach out to them and say, thank you for helping me or something. That's what they might need one day.
And so what that look like? Let's look at some of the aspects of what a support network would look like. Mike mentioned a mentor. We as recovery coaches, we are considered mentors in the field of recovery. There are sponsors, there are therapists, there are counselors, and so seek out those professional people as well. And so just want to add that to the mix so that you'll know that there is a variety.
Good word.
That can help.
That's because you when you think sober support network, it doesn't, like you were saying, it doesn't have to actually be with somebody in recovery. Your social support network could be, a whole list of individuals from different aspects of your life. You can have a trainer. Yeah, he might don't know nothing about the substance use, but he can tell you everything about your physical body and everything. Eating, all that is a part of your social support network. That's the holistics. We talk about the holistics. I don't use this word all the time, but I'll pull it out when we go deep.
We talking about maintaining.
That's our favorite word.
That's right.
Karen got a favorite word too.
What's the next one?
Benefits of sober. Who got it? You want me to do it?
I got it. Benefits of sober support network. Having a sober support network is essential to recovery. There is a truth behind the statement, strength in numbers, and a sober support network proves that. The various benefits are enough to show that you should have your own as you go through your recovery journey.
Strength in numbers. There's no other thing that I can actually say about that iron sharpens iron. So strength in numbers is very important. You can never have too many people in your social support network. Now, these people in your network or your group of support are people that you build relationships with. And as you develop in your network, each person has a particular place, and you have to remember it's strengths in numbers. Because just think, for example, my foundation is my spiritual foundation. My rock is my spiritual foundation. That means I go to somebody higher than me, and that's my spiritual foundation, right? But strength in numbers, if you think this in the physical person, if you got more people, say you called and reached out to one of your sober support networks, but they're busy right now. How about they helping somebody who's just like you, and they can't get to you at that time? If you have more people in your social support network, you can reach out to another one. So that's why you want to have strength in numbers, because those individuals, remember, they have their own lives as well. So they might be dealing with something just like we all have our own lives to deal with. So the more people you got in your social support network, the better it is for you.
Yeah. Nice summation.
Nice summation.
Summation. Utilizing that. All right, let's move on. Like-minded people. Let's talk about like-minded people. One of the biggest enemies of recovery is isolation. Isolation is a common relapse trigger, and a sober support network helps fight against this by surrounding you with like-minded people. Sober individual will not pressure you into using drugs or alcohol, but will motivate you to maintain. That word.
Here you go.
Maintain your sobriety. Like-minded people. So there is I like that word because that reminds me of that when we surround ourselves with positive people, we begin to feed off one another. And it lets you know that you're not alone and that I may experience some of the things that someone else may experience, and they may experience some of the things that I may experience. So that allows each of us to focus on our strengths as well as our weaknesses.
Yeah.
And so it's good to have like-minded people.
Yeah, you want to have like-minded people, and also watch out if you're out there and you're in isolation. It says isolation is a common relapse trigger. If you find yourself isolated, call us. You can reach out to us, 856-391-7449. If you find yourself in a situation where you're starting to isolate yourself from your recovery or your sober support network, reach out to somebody that might be in your network, even if it's not us. Reach out to somebody that you have in your Rolodex, in your phone, that's in your social support network, because isolation is a common relapse trigger. The reason, or I believe that one of the main reasons that the substance or the whatever you want to label it, I call it the monster, try to get us to isolate ourselves is because it's trying to work against us on our own, by ourselves in isolation. So you have to reach out and call somebody. And sober individuals will not pressure you into using drugs and alcohol, but will motivate you to maintain your sobriety. If you're around individuals who are saying, you talking about, man, I'm thinking about getting one, and they talking about you need a ride. Get away from them people. You want to be around the people who wants to focus or motivate you to stay away from the drugs. Like, nah, don't do that, man. Don't you got a sponsor, a recovery, or mentor? Call them. You want like-minded people.
Because isolation brings about boredom. Once boredom take a place, we begin to have this self-talk. And so once we have our own self-talk, if we don't have no one like-minded to encourage us out of them thoughts, as Mike said, we end up relapsing.
Yeah, and when you get isolated and then you get bored, you carry out familiar actions, which old behaviors. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff, man. I'm gonna crop that, use it as a tweet. Let's move.
Let's move on.
We at
Increase self-esteem.
wow. I got it. Humans crave social connections, and sober support networks provide just that. Because many individuals want to belong, being a part of a sober group can increase your confidence and self-esteem in your interpersonal relationships. It bestows a feeling of acceptance. You can also become more confident in your recovery because you have the support needed. So it increases self-esteem. When you feel a part of something, when you just think, when you get into a group of something, no matter if it's negative or positive, one of the main reasons you got in the group to be a part of it. Yeah. So in your social support network, it increases your confidence and self-esteem, and you become more confident in your recovery because of it.
Especially when someone that been in long-term recovery or just came out of long-term or of substance use disorder of behaviors, and they overcame that, and so you say to yourself, I want to identify or be a part of what you have. I don't want to have all of it, but I want to know what the steps are that you use, and who are some of the people that you're connected to or connected with that maybe can assist me, be successful. Like Mike said, he got a lot of mentors in different aspects of his life.
Right.
That's why he's so successful.
You gotta have somebody. Right. And you gotta spend time with them. You meet up with them. I used to ride all the way up to North Jersey to meet with my business mentor, and we were spending hours in there, him pouring into me because that's what I wanted to invest in, that was business. And now that I'm starting to do stuff in business, I'm using the same thing he told me. Relapse monitor, you want to go?
If there comes a time when you are slipping back into your old habits, your sober support network will be able to point out the behaviors. This way you can be aware of a potential relapse before it happens. Being aware of this can help you stop relapse in its tracks and get back on course of your healing. Accountability will help you maintain your recovery without setting you back.
And a lot of times, most of us, if we are lacking in some aspects of our life, it would show up. It would show up. You know, prior to the usage, it can be anger issues that a person may be dwelling or dealing with or haven't addressed. I was talking to one of the recovery coaches yesterday, and I was telling her we was in a meeting, and one of the things that stuck out to me was trauma is the gateway to behaviors. And so a lot of times if someone is not addressing a lot of these traumatic experiences, we can also begin to exhibit behaviors that will lead to masking, using drugs. And so we need someone to pull us up and say, hey, man, what's going on?
Accountability.
Hey, Mike, what's going on with you, man?
And also when you have someone that'll hold you accountable, don't never forget, like when you have that person that will hold you accountable, if you lie to them, you actually only lying to yourself because they probably not facing the problem you're facing. So it's no need to actually lie to them, even though I know that's part of the relapse process that happens when people start to lie or try to justify certain things. Why you ain't come to this meeting? Oh man, you know, my car broke down. Something happened with the kids. When you start making up stuff like that aren't real, it only hurts you. It doesn't actually hurt the person you're being accountable to. You know what I mean? Because that person probably is there for you. So when you are trying to lie or find yourself in a relapse or something like that, I'd rather you reach out, be honest with me, and let me help you get some more treatment or help you go away or help you pick up the pieces.
All right,
let's move.
Pick up the pieces.
Pick up the pieces.
No, man, Marlon.
Awesome, man.
Having hope. Let's look at some of the things about having hope. Hearing stories from individuals that have been sober for an extended period can give you hope in your own recovery journey. Seeing someone else succeed in recovery can help you have more faith in yourself to stick with it, even when things get hard.
You just shouldn't.
Right?
You're seeing somebody else.
Seeing someone else, right?
Do it.
Absolutely. And so just, you know, that gives each and every one of us who's in recovery hope to know that, you know, we're not alone. And that, you know, it shocks me because at first when I started getting into recovery, there was many people from many different professional backgrounds who experienced some of the things that I experienced, but they overcame and got back on straight and narrow, you know. So listen, we want to inspire you, we want to give you hope, we want to let you know that you're not by yourself, so don't isolate. Reach out to Mike, he's here for you. You know, slash, he's recovery coach, slash counselor. All right, seeing someone else succeed. My mentor told me, he says, whenever you see somebody else succeed in something you're trying to do, you never, ever be jealous of them. You should join them. Never be jealous of somebody you should be learning from. And I never forgot that. So whenever I see somebody succeed at something, supersedes at something that I'm trying to do, I'm never, ever jealous. I always ask them questions or I'll follow them and I'll see what they're saying and everything is because I want to try to succeed like they did. And that also gives me hope that if they did it, then I can possibly do it too. So having hope is very important. You need hope, man. You don't have hope for something, man, it dries up your bones. Like you just like, I gave up, I quit. You know what I mean? You don't want to have that situation, but you're going to have to look at, if you're in a current relapse right now, look at our lives or look at somebody that you know who came after relapse, and still succeed, and that will instill hope in you. How do I build my sober support network? It's a good question. I'm glad you asked. There are multiple, watch it.
There
All
are
right.
multiple ways to meet other sober individuals and develop friendships.
Here it comes.
Even if you tend to be shyer, you can still find individuals you get along with and support you in your recovery. You can always find somebody to build a friendship with in your sober support network. Trust me, a lot of individuals, I tell people all the time, I would love to talk to you about how my life changed from being homeless and sleeping outside and having suitcases under people's steps and going to get my clothes and change clothes every day and taking showers in McDonald's or washing up in the sink. I tell people about that all the time. And the only reason I share stuff like that is because if they're in that state right now, don't tell me you can't change. Don't tell me you won't be able to convince me that your life can't change. It's about, are you willing to apply the information that I'm gonna give you? So when you build your sober support network, you got to build friends with people who have already achieved it. Let's move.
Go to support meetings. The best ways to meet other sober individuals is to attend support meetings for individuals who have gone through substance use disorder. These can be 12-step meetings such as Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or alternatives, but make sure they fit your personal recovery needs. Be friendly and talk to others at the meeting, in person or online, to make friends and build your sober support network.
Every recovery meeting don't fit your personal recovery needs. So if you go to a meeting that doesn't fit your personal recovery needs, don't badmouth the individual meeting. Just say that meeting didn't fit my recovery needs. It's not a bad meeting. It just didn't fit your recovery needs, right? So you got to understand, you can also find other alternatives like Capital Recovery Centers, Coffee and Conversation, all recovery meetings. You can find alternative meetings like that online. But remember, every meeting won't fit your recovery needs. So when you go to these support meetings and it's just not the meeting for you, that's okay. Because have you ever ate some food that you didn't like? You went to a place and brought food, you say, you know, I've been there before, but it just don't fit my taste. So you go somewhere else. It's not that that place is that bad. It just say, it just wasn't all right for me. Because I know people that eat certain food, they say, I don't like it. I say, I love it. Have yours? Yeah, so it's just my cup of tea, so to speak. So when you go to recovery support meetings, because one of the things that the addiction plays on our mind is we try to make a recovery support meetings taste nasty in our mouth, if you understand. So it makes you think these are bad. But if you go into a crack house, it says there's nothing wrong with this. This is, have you ever said this is not a good crack house? No, it doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. It's only when we trying to do right that we start to have bad taste for meetings and stuff like that.
Get involved with the recovery community.
All right.
Leaving treatment can make it difficult to reconnect with the recovery community outside support meetings. However, if you want to meet other sober individuals, a great way to do so is to engage with the recovery community. Get involved. Getting involved can mean volunteering, hosting sober events, or offering to teach others about substance use disorders. These activities will help you meet other sober individuals and extend your support network. You'll be surprised how much you have to offer by getting involved, by extending yourself. You'll be amazed how many lives of people that you can reach. Not only those in recovery, but you'll be helping family members of the recovery. You'll be helping the community at large, because we go out in the community, we do some great work here as recovery coaches. We go out, we do the role, as we mentioned earlier, we do roll with different municipalities, police departments.
Yeah.
And me, myself, I mean, I'm putting a plug in because for the simple fact that I would have never thought in my years on this planet that I'll be assisting those who once I was running away from.
Me too. I
Or
say
they
that all the time.
assisted me. You said that on your meeting last time, right?
Never even thought that in a million.
Yeah, but it's great that to learn that we do have, even though they have a bad stigma as a whole, but however, when you really look at it, it's not the whole entire community of law enforcement that is bad. So we don't judge. We don't use no judgment. We look at those who are willing to help us in the community to get well and to assist, and we love what we do with them.
I always said that, like, I'm amazed. I think I'm gonna start doing it everywhere. When we go to, when we are at the police station, I say, you don't have to go to jail. You can go to treatment. Like, a lot of times people were going. I know for me, I was getting arrested and going to jail for a lot of the times that I had drugs on me, but I had the drugs on me to supply my addiction. So instead of me going to jail now, or you going to jail now, you can go to treatment and get help. But one other thing Craig mentioned, he says, offering to teach others about your addiction or substance use disorder. You can get involved with helping other individuals. You'll be surprised at how many people in your neighborhood, if you notice or not, how much influence you have in a particular area you grew up with. A lot of individuals actually look up to you. You made a wrong turn for the drugs, but you still have people in that area who actually look up to you as some type of idol or role model or something. And if you go back to those same communities and help in that community, that's going to revive the feeling that a person had about you probably when they were younger. They probably looked at you. I never realized that, and I wrote about it, like, why didn't you pay attention to the person that looked up to you when you were younger? I never knew people was watching. I never knew until later, like, yo, I always watched what you did. I always paid attention. I'm like, you did? Why? I didn't even know why you was watching me. But now that I know that someone is always watching you, you can be better for your community.
And so we can either affect people in our lives, or we can have an effect on people in our lives. All right.
What else?
Difference. All right.
Last but not least.
The
big one.
The big one.
Don't miss this one.
Here it comes.
Danger of hanging with the wrong crowd.
Wow.
Once you begin the journey to recovery, it is critical that you do not engage in activities that will jeopardize your sobriety. These may include hanging out with individuals you used to use drugs or alcohol with. Hanging around these individuals can potentially trigger you to pose a high risk of relapse, right? It is critical to cut ties with negative influence and find a sober support network. This way, you are surrounded by people that support your sobriety and won't tempt you to fall back into old habits. Wow. And that's important dangerous about hanging out with the wrong crowd. And I have to take a test soon. And one of the things that I use, I said that the client asked me about what to do when he want to go, when his old friends who are currently using ask him to hang out. And I suggested that the client make a list of some various alternatives that he can explore on his own. And the client decided that the relationships were unhealthy and could possibly trigger him to go back to his recovery. But the thing that I love about it is he decided on his own. He picked the one that, man, they're not even good relationships right now. They still my friends. I still have friends that I grew up with. But I'll go to what I say, they come on my turf, I won't go on their turf because they still currently using. I'm not going to test myself and say, let me see how strong I really am in this recovery thing. Nah, I'm all right. I don't need a haircut. I'm bald headed. So I'm not going to do it. So it's dangerous hanging out with your wrong crowds. And sometimes they will talk about you, but that's okay. Just let them talk. All right. What else we got? That's it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. That's good, man. Again, we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. And again, we'll be here Thursday at 1 p.m. for All Recovery Meeting. We went over some real good importance of Sober Support Network. Watch this video, share this video with all your people on your pages and everything, or people in your recovery. You can also get it off of YouTube and share the link. Thank y'all.